Have you ever said yes when you mean no? Have you ever said no when you mean yes?
I do. I do that.
Well, in this video, I want to talk about how to say no, like Socrates. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Write Your Own Story. My name is James Taylor. I'm an online counsellor, hypnotherapist, life coach, hypnotherapy supervisor. I'm also a podcaster, a YouTuber and an author. Now, in this video, I want to talk about Socrates and I want to go back to ancient Greece, and I've done this on a few of my other episodes. Socrates was faced with a situation when he was in his 70s that was literally life and death for him, and he had to make a decision, and it didn't go too well. And the problem was, when Socrates was younger, a friend of his went to the Oracle of Delphi to see who the wisest person was in Athens. And the Oracle of Delphi said it was Socrates. The friend went and told Socrates this, thinking it was going to be great news that the Oracle of Delphi had disclosed and this kind of thing. But Socrates didn't think he was the wisest person around. And he questioned the wisdom of the Oracle of Delphi, who apparently got her knowledge and wisdom from the gods. Now, what confused him was he was aware there was lots of things that he knew he didn't know. And he thought, well, if there's other people around who know more than me, that means I can't be the wisest person. And if I'm not the wisest person, that means the oracle is wrong. And if the oracle is wrong, that means the gods have made a mistake. And is that right? How can the gods make a mistake if they're meant to be so wise? How is this even possible? So he began to question whether he was the wisest person or not. So he went on a bit of a mission, and he went round speaking to other wise people in the area where he lived, and then further afield. And he found something quite interesting. He found that when he was speaking to a wise person, he would question their knowledge. And he would ask things like, how do you know that? Why do you know that? Where did you learn that? And this how, why, where kind of questions that he was asking, by asking those kind of questions, he realised that the person he was speaking to didn't really know what they were talking about. And they were winging it. And he thought, well, you're meant to be really wise. How can you be winging it? And that made him realise that they didn't know either. So he went around looking for more and more people to figure out who was wiser than he was. Now, he also had a number of students, and he started teaching them about this why, how, where kind of questions. Now, word got around that he was not only asking these kind of questions himself and questioning the validity of things, and not just going into things blindly. And he was also questioning the wisdom of the gods, or the gods of that time that everyone should have been worshipping. So, a trial was brought against Socrates, and it didn't go too well for him. He defended himself, and he was trying to explain that I can't be the wisest person because there's loads of things that I don't know. And that means that the oracle must be wrong, because if I know that I don't know things, that means I can't be that wise. And he questioned that. He did believe that there must be something, a divine being that's created the place where we all live. But he just didn't know whether it was the Greek gods that everyone was worshipping. So he was quizzed about this. And what happened was he was found guilty. He was found guilty of spreading dissension amongst the youth of Athens. And this caused a bit of a problem. So he was found guilty of that. And he was also found guilty of not really bowing down and believing in the gods that he was told he should have believed in.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
Now, at that time, if someone was found guilty, they were asked, what kind of punishment would you like? Because you've been found guilty. And Socrates didn't really do himself any favours, because his answer enraged the court. And he said, really, I think because I've brought this kind of question to the people, I think I should be congratulated, and I think my punishment should be plentiful meals 3 times a day. That didn't go down too well. Now, they decided instead that he was going to die. That was going to be his punishment. and he was going to have to drink a poison called hemlock. Now, here's where they get into the no bit comes into it, because they gave him an outer. The court said to him, look, if you just stop doing what you're doing and you rescind what you've said, take it all back. So stop doing what you're doing, take it all back, say you didn't mean any harm, we'll let it go. But if you don't, you're going to have to drink this poison, hemlock. And Socrates at this point was a man in his 70s. And he had a real big decision to make. Should he go back on his word? Should he tell all his students that he'd been wrong when he didn't think he had? Should he do that? Or should he stick to his guns and not compromise himself? And given that choice, he said, no. No. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go back on myself. I'm not going to compromise myself. Well, the inevitable happened. He drank the hemlock and all the students were there. He was allowed visitors, and he apparently sipped his hemlock quite casually and cheerfully because he knew that the message was out and he wasn't going to compromise himself. And by him dying in this way, he was actually going to become a martyr. Now, you may not have to make the same kind of decision that Socrates did. You may not have to drink poison. But what about if you need to say no to something? Should you fold under pressure? Now, true story. I recently had a situation like this myself. And I was told, just apologise and everyone can move on. But there's a problem with that. The apology would have been false. And I wasn't prepared to do that. So I decided no. Now, the apology might have been the easier thing to do for some, but not for me, because by doing that, it would have meant I'd have compromised myself. And it wouldn't be truthful and it wouldn't be genuine, and I just wasn't prepared to do that. Now, do you find yourself doing this? Are there times when you want to say no, but you say yes? And likewise, are there times when you want to say yes, but you say no?
Well, yes and no. Yes, I did say it, and no, I didn't not say it.
This is a real big problem. And a lot of the clients I see in my own private practice as a counsellor, hypnotherapist and life coach, quite often this reluctance, it's not an inability, because of course we can do it, but there's a reluctance to say what we really, really think to other people. Now that can come from a variety of reasons. But if this is something that you are struggling with, this way to say no when you mean no, and the way to say yes when you mean yes, if you feel like you're compromising yourself in some way, it might be an idea that me and you have a chat. And to do that is really, really easy. I offer a free 30-minute consultation, and the link will be in the description below. Now, there's no obligation. As I mentioned, it's completely free, but it's just to see whether we might be a good fit, so I can help you develop an ability to be truthful to yourself and then be truthful to others, and to deal with any guilt or feelings of compromise that you may have. Because honestly, when you get past this, and Socrates, I don't know whether many people would have done what Socrates did, but when you get past this kind of situation and you're true to yourself, you can stand firm in your own skin. You can look back at your reflection in the mirror and not feel guilt or doubt or lack of confidence or all those other things, disappointment that may come up because you've compromised yourself. So, if you'd like to do that, the link will be in the description below.
I like the sound of that.
So if you think this video has been helpful and you think you got some value from it, please remember to do the whole like, share and all that kind of stuff. But I do hope this has been helpful to you. So for the time being, this is James from Write Your Own Story, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.